I guess this is it. It's a Monday. News night is over. One track of Lumba has gone by. Contain is in the background. Your voice of reasoning is on there. So I guess we start this way. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. And I'll say that again. Well, folks, I said until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting would always glorify the hunter. Hello and welcome to the most opinionated hour on radio and the nation's thought-provoking hour. My name is Nana Ansakwao IV, Chief of the Little Republic of Akwemo Dumasa. Welcome to another edition of That's My Opinion, our favorite hour on Monday, where our beautiful ritual is performed, a time when great minds come together. Welcome to the soul. Welcome to the soul of God. Folks, our topic today is legalizing illegalities. Legalizing illegality. I'll share a couple of stories with you and then we'll launch into it. Now, I'm sure most of you know by now that I am a keen biker. You know, even though I'm a chief, I still don't miss an opportunity to get on my bike and cruise about. Yeah, I have a nice bike for myself to help me through my midlife crisis. And in my early years of biking days, somewhere far away in the middle of Watford, there was a bike repair shop. So I took my bike there and asked that they alter my exhaust for me so that it would sound loud. But the guy said, no, it's illegal. I said, what do you care about that? I'm the one going to ride it. You just have to dig a hole in it so that it sounds, sounds like a man's bike. Truth be told, back then it was, 2 weeks' time I was going to put the thing on the ship and ship it to Ghana. I mean, how loud was he going to get anywhere? He said, I'm sorry, sir, I can't do it. Well, I went ahead, did the oil service and a few other jobs that had to be done on the bike. But as for the alteration, he said it was illegal, so he wasn't going to do it for me. He was not the one going to ride it. But he won't do it. Again, in the UK, folks, a soldier who had returned from Iraq and had been wounded and paralyzed, confined to a wheelchair. And his parents wanted to build an outhouse for him. And so, that he could use his wheelchair without using the stairs in the main house. They applied to the local council expecting that for a young man who had given such a service to his nation, the least was a permit to build a bungalow at the back of the house so he could move about in his wheelchair. To their surprise, the council said no. No. It hasn't fit into the development plan of the area, whatever it is. In fact, Nick Ferrari, who's a host of LBC, took the council on. And I can remember back then, I don't even remember the council, but then back then the listeners who called into the show were really mad for the council's refusal to bend on, what were they asking for? Just a little, bedroom and toilet access so that this soldier who's now wounded could wheel his wheelchair about there, and the council said no, regardless of the sacrifice. People were mad that, look, you're being too stiff. But one last story before we go, folks, even though I have many examples, I just give you one last one and then we move on. Now, I had to send my son to school, right? And we lived in Stanmore. And the school we chose means that we have to drive past two schools to get to the one I wanted, which was more than a mile from the house. So for this reason, I had to meet like the board of the council members. They have like an educational board of the council. So you have to book an appointment and you meet to them and you go there, and they sat there like in the courtroom, with the principal council member in the middle, flanked by other council members, all wearing their glasses, looking at you, from on top of their glasses to come and explain and justify why you won't let your son go to the schools close by the house. Well, folks, my defense was that I grew up in Ghana, where homework was very regular, and it helped me. It kept me from roaming about. It shaped me, formed me to become a disciplined parent that I am today, that I want for my son. And the schools closer to the house did not believe in homework. Again, there's a car at home. There's even a spare car at home that will take him and pick him up, so he's not going to be under any stress at all if he goes to that school, which, truth be told, not very far from the house. Only there are 2 schools before I get to it, but it's not that far. So I'm not going to put my son through any stress. Folks, before I was granted the permission to send him to the school that I chose. You see, with all these stories, they were not going to justify or just legalize any illegality. With all these stories, they were not just going to sit and let some illegality become the norm of the day. But today I want us to find out what our local authorities are doing. And again, as always, I'm sure there are stories or serious stories in your localities that you may want to share, and you're definitely happy to share, happy to hear your stories. Folks, we have been promised that by 2020, Ghana will be the cleanest country. I don't know whether maybe you're the cleanest country in Ghana, because I don't know where else what we're going to compare it with. It's going to be cleaner than Rwanda, going to be cleaner than Singapore, going to be cleaner than where? But let me just say it will be the cleanest country in Ghana. Folks, street hawking is illegal. I don't know which code or letter in the law that says that, but I was born knowing that you can't be crisscrossing the road selling some chewing gum, putting your life and others in danger. It's just not done. Sidewalks are exactly what it is, a sidewalk. Not a mini market or space for a container or space for you to plant your grass because you're a bit affluent. That's it, it's a sidewalk. Term a runabout. Once upon a time was like a bad curse. It's like somebody takes you to Antoine and he can just tell Antoine, say, let this guy drive through Tema runabout maybe 3 times a day. And I tell you what, it will be the worst curse you'd ever gotten. It'll take you hours just to be able to negotiate this Tema runabout thing. It was absolute madness. Until a few years ago, they cleared the whole place and did some diversions, which really eased traffic. I mean, you get there and it was like a different world. The place was lit up. The whole area just looked. I mean, you get there and it was like what I said yesterday, that painful interventions where you think, wow, is that all that we needed after all these hours that we spent here? This is what was needed, and it was just fine. First to move in, folks, was some Lotto kiosk. Oh yes, Lotto kiosk. Then a yam seller. In fact, a yam wholesale. I'm sure he comes at dawn with a tipper truck load of yams and just comes to dump it there. I was watching it. Then watermelon came in, also wholesaling. He also comes and dump a whole bunch of watermelons. Some food vendors. Then there were all these ugly sticker signs on some guy who's promising to double money. Coconut sellers were there. I'm not sure, but I think a organizer moved in. There was some sort of a mini trotro stop, which was, they kicked them out of there when the diversions came. They also came back. Folks, before you knew it, it was a disgusting sight, heartbreaking and shameful to us all. But the biggest shame was to the assembly. The biggest shame was to the assembly who was responsible for the Tema runabout area. Could they not have moved in when the Lotto kiosk came, because there was just 1 or 2 or 3 that came in to begin with? But here is the interesting part, folks. Apart from all these people, being there illegally, they've been taxed. by the same people who are supposed to come and sack them from there. So in the assembly, there's the removal task force and there's the taxing task force, all working for the same assembly. Somehow the removal guys don't come, but the tax guys come and tax them. Which means, well, if I am paying tax, then I have every right to pitch camp at the runabout and do my yam wholesale or, let my lotto kiosk be. Folks. That, folks, is the annoying joke about it. The sick joke. These are the local authorities workers that we are to build the nation with. Because, folks, you're not going to build the nation from the Flagstaff House. As for there, it's just English. The nation will be built from the local assemblies. These are the guys who are the local assemblies who have to move. And once every assembly is moving, the greater good will be seen. Folks, as for DCs and MCs, I think I just have to pity them. You've been handed a job on a silver platter. You don't have to, go through any elections, and the least you can do is do the job you were asked to do. That's the least you can do. MCs, DCs, that's the least you can do. MPs are being bashed left and right and they've gone scot-free. MPs are being bashed left and right. They are gone scot-free. Meanwhile, they handle the money. Somehow, chiefs and local people don't realize that, look, the guy to really put pressure on is the DCE and not the MP. I don't know why. I don't know why there's no connect. People say maybe because we didn't go through an election to vote them, they seem to be like a phantom to us. So the MP is always under pressure. And because of political games, the more pressure you give him, the more he promises. And the DCE with the money, even the MP's common fund, which is with the DCE, but the DCE is gone to sleep. Folks, but then again, maybe they are looking at the bribes they pay to the assemblymen before winning their votes as part of their good governance. So for them, maybe they paid for their time. And how much being paid for it? There were about 25 assemblymen. Everybody collected 3,000 or 2,000. And so I've done my part. Maybe. But whether they paid or not, folks, whether they paid or not, this is taking the absolute make out of us. Folks, these local authorities are taking us for a big time ride. Folks, which mayor controls the mall area? For many, many, many years, and I'm talking about 5, 6 years, right from this station and many other big platforms. It was one torchlight seller to the next, something petty trading, and people were announcing, and then there was a taxi station there, and then there's this, and it was growing, and we just kept talking and talking, whether it's under Accra, whether it's under the Lekma, wherever it is, I don't even know. But whoever it is, still drawing a salary. And today I'm told now you can even get Lome car. There's Accra to Lome from the mall. That's how sickening it's getting, folks. Completely out of hand. But it doesn't end there, folks. It doesn't end there. And you have to help me on this one. Because this one, I really cannot figure it out. I don't even have an opinion about it. You have to help me. ECG, folks. Our dear ECG. Folks, do they talk to the local councils within where they operate? Or are they at loggerheads? Are they rivals? I don't know, maybe the EC, somebody took one's girlfriend and so they are not talking. I don't know. But you get what I'm getting to. Folks, every slum is well connected to the grid. Every slum, all illegal settlings are fully and well connected to the grid. Along the motorway is a city full of kiosks. Again, it started 1 kiosk, 2 kiosks, 3, 4, and now it's a city. I hear they want compensation before they move. Why not? And the very little taxes that we collect as a nation goes to pay for those various councils who sit there and make all these things happen. Stella Itiomuka. I wish the accountant general would be bold one day and get up and say, you know something, you want to get paid, get out there and earn it. I wish one day Kenneth Furata say, you know something, I'm cutting your budget by this amount and it's your wages. You want it? Get out there like everybody else and work for it. Go and earn a good day's work for it. You get to Tema, folks, in the Tema environs. Every junction is completely blocked. So if you are driving, you literally need to stick your nose and your bonnet into the road before you can see if cars are coming from the left and right. Because to your left is an Awuza Coco seller, to your right is somebody who's selling used clothes right at the junction. All the space that they give, you know, so that you can tell cars coming before you get into the junction have been sold off or given away, but they are all connected to the grid. And so then you ask yourself, within ECG, is there nothing in there, you know, in their training that says, oh, no. This is a junction and therefore you're not allowed to be here, and so I can't connect you to the grid. BBA ni hosa, or yours is that come and connect. But no abeso. Because some of the structures are putting themselves and other people in danger, yet there's a meter attached to it. Yet there's a meter attached to it. Now recently it's the wager rate that's about to collapse. But as for that one, you know, before I bash the local council, let me bash my colleague chiefs. I him for fake animas. How do you sell a hill? You sell the clay, the top of the hill to people to build, and then underneath you sell it to sand winners. Hey, I mean, what sort of? How? Manche. You sell the top of the hill to people to build and live, and they are also building, you know, fantastic houses, beautiful houses there, and right underneath them are sand winners just digging them away. Jesus Christ, I am for. You know, here I am bashing DC, but look at what the chiefs are also doing. Look at what chiefs are also doing. But I guess they are even the beginning of the local governance. I guess they're the beginning of local governance. So it's like a cocktail of, I don't know. It's a cocktail of rejects. A cocktail of rejects. So we are here waiting for this major landslide to happen. Well, minister says you should pray for God for intervention. So keep praying for that intervention. That's so that when the mud slides, you at least, you know, slide back down on the road. Yeah, just hope that when it slides, you slide and land back on the road. And if you're lucky, pick a trotro and come to Accra to report the mudslide. Or if you fall on the Cape Coast side of the road, you can make your way up there. But folks, this is what is happening around us. That we are going to add to the basket of Famanyame, near the Amanyame. And so while Flagstaff House is speaking the big English that here I'm going to promise that law and order is the new dawn and a special prosecutor to catch all these guys who are corrupt and the city is going to be clean, the DCs are asleep. Folks, sleeping beauties, you know, after 100 years, even if the prince comes to kiss them, they're not going to wake up. That's how deep they are in their slumber. And council after council, district after district is just getting an ugly and uglier and ugly. And ugly. And you see, when it starts, it's not as if one morning you woke up and there were 100,000 people moved in and so you were shocked and overpowered and overwhelmed. No. It's just one idiot to the second idiot to the third idiot, and the next thing you know is the market of idiots. And you can't do anything about it. DC won't act, sit in his pickup and as a police we need the police from them, folks. If a DC is coming, you need a police. I mean, they are a danger to us. We have to be protected from them, not them from us. What are they doing? Local councils wake up and think just the basics. I'm not saying don't let a child travel more than a mile to school. That's too complicated for you. You won't even understand it. All we are saying is that any ECG local councils, I mean, some structures, you don't need any law, you don't need any book, you don't need anywhere to know that this thing is dangerous. So why do you connect it to the grid? Just a no Fiona, folks. But can you imagine if all these things were working? If I went to the council to say, look, and if I went to ECG to say, look, give me electricity, and say, no, go to the council. And so I go to the council, and the council will say, nope, Mr. Nana Sakwa, your house is not properly situated, break it down. Or if it's properly situated, then come and pay your taxes, and so you can collect revenue. You can collect revenue. And then we will all be at peace. All this issue about we are connecting electricity and nobody is paying, and this, all these things will come down. So folks, today I'm just talking about legalizing illegalities. And I'm sure within your vicinity there's so many illegalities that have been now legalized to the point where you dare not talk about it. But are we just going to sit there and watch these aliens? I mean, because now I think they're aliens, I think now they're aliens. Because some of the things they're doing is just mind-blowing. Look at the motorway, and I think one day I'm going to dedicate a whole show to the motorway. Look at the motorway, folks. But today, I just want to find out, what do we do to wake up the local assemblies, the local authorities? What do we do? It's 0302 216 541. This one says, good evening. 37 station pavement is also gradually becoming a market. It says, good evening. I just passed Fiesta Royal, and to be sincere, I was sad seeing hawkers and the filth created by them. Their lives are even in danger in the first place. Clear indication that our institutions and duty bearers are not working. They are weak. We keep talking grammar without doing nothing. Ghana must wake up. Gabriel McCarthy down. Let me go to the phone, and who's my first caller? Hello.
Nana.
Yes, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Why exciting me? The funny thing.
Talk to me.
Have you used Joy FM during peak hours?
Hey. Ha ha. Yeah.
Your whole studio.
I'm telling you.
Studio.
I'm telling you.
Where you are sitting. Have you used it during working hours?
I have
it's
to go.
terrible.
Yeah.
And yet they allow Joy FM to be situated at that place. But that's just by the by.
Yeah.
Go and read Pastor Mensa Otabel's speech that he gave during Occupy Ghana. Thursday. It's all about implementation. That's it. We have all the laws. It's all about implementation. So it starts from your own house, Nana.
Charlie, we'll do our best. Thank you very much. 0302 216 541. Hello, who's talking to me? Hello.
Yes, Nana, good evening.
Good evening. Who am I talking to?
Stephen here.
Steve, talk to me.
Well, if you want the assemblies to work, take away their common funds and set targets for them to achieve. I guess at the corporate level, there are targets for everybody, or? Do you have the same targets for the district assembly level?
Do I even know?
Or people are just having party every day of the week? Because clearly, if you don't supervise, what do you expect them to do? And who are those who become DCs and MDCs and all those mayors and all? Nana? They are given jobs by political parties, MPP and NDC, just go and enjoy themselves. That's the bottom line. So they don't do jack, and yet they get the money at the end of the day. So for me, the only way out is, Master, go out there and collect taxes. If you cannot, we cannot pay you. And if you don't work, we fire you. And by the time, if you don't get the right person, we keep firing until we get the right person. I think things will be done. But until we do so, we'll always lament, and nothing will be done.
Guys, what do you think about what Stephen is saying? Set a target, give a clear target, and everybody within the council and the district to know what the target is. And then, Jack, if you can't do it, like we say, keep sucking until we get the right person. I mean, what do you think? Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello.
Hi, who's talking to me?
Hello, please. My name is Felicia. I'm calling from Casper.
Let me hear you, Felicia. Yes, let me hear you. Oh, your line dropped. 0302216541. You can bring your text messages to 0244-340-437. Hello, who's on the phone?
Good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Yeah, I'm Salifu from Koforio.
Talk to me, Salifu.
Nana, all these things, the late Dan Latte asked for the third chamber, and then I have been emphasizing that you, the chiefs, should take the third chamber. I don't see why you are in the local authority as a chief should be able to know who the assemblyman should go to the assembly and fight for your people. So all this indiscipline in the various assembly, Nana, you people should take it up. I beg you, Nana, use this your medium to canvas or let all your chiefs understand that all that is happening to the location, they must wake up. And I always say that the institution of the chieftaincy, let's get the right people to be the chiefs so that you can take the third chamber, so that parliamentarians, when they are coming to your palace, they will know that the chiefs are very strong now to rule the assembly. Now you people should take the assembly. This is assembly. Chiefs should take it. I beg you.
Thank you very much. 0302216541. Hello, who's on the phone?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening. Who am I talking to?
My name is David, speaking from Tesano.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that as you have earlier voiced out, the problem has to do with implementation. We have the laws and yet we don't implement them. For instance, we say Okada is illegal. I look at it all over the city of Accra. Everywhere they are making big profit, they are not being taxed, and they don't even obey traffic regulations. You get to the intersection, the red light is on, all vehicles are stopped, and the bikes are passing. The police are right there, they don't say anything. So for some of us who are passionate about this country making progress, we get disappointed, and it also doesn't go well for human security. Because you are trying to cross the road and you are afraid, knowing that a motorbike can just knock you down right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Makosby. Anthony is listening and says, Nana, the stories you shared at the start of the program tells me something about the Europeans. I walked into a shop to buy perfume with dollars and euros and I was refused. Being served in Jaworzno in Poland. They told me to go and exchange into their currency first. The whites conducted their duties with honor. We do ours with money. That's why we are in a cocktail of messy mess. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
It's Fred.
Fred, talk to me.
And now sometimes you even amaze me, the energy you have to keep going and going. You say it, and nothing gets done. It's I don't know if you don't get frustrated in a way. But recently we had something instituted called Nation Builders Corps. I was thinking some of them would be put in the street to clear these hawkers off and stuff like that. Everything left with the AMA. And familiarization, we all know, breeds contempt. They familiarize themselves with these people in the streets. They don't drive them away anymore. Some of them have girlfriends in there. They have their wives, everything. The police are friends with them. Nobody drives them away. They are there. So like you're saying, very soon we have a lot of them everywhere. If you go into the airport, you see them, you wait. In the next 10 years, you have them hawking the runways and all that. It's such a sorry situation.
Thank you. Thank you very much, my brother. Nana, I identify with your British short stories. Don't I just love an organized system? The president said Accra will be the cleanest city. I wish he'd drive like we all do, to see his clean city in the making. The Accra Mall is currently an eyesore, and I remember previous mayors working hard to keep the place clear and clean. It's sad we don't have any decent shopping areas in Accra. From ECG head office to Circle to Medina to 37 Pavement, I hate to say that the current mayor isn't working. Nana in Spinkters Road. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening. Who am I talking to?
My name is Atidiga. I'm calling from...
Talk to me, my brother.
Nana, well done, well done. In fact, today I couldn't have agreed with you anymore. You know, I live around Medina, North Legon. Kotanai, this is assembly or municipal assembly. Is under me. It's around my place. Nana, could you believe that every house is supposed to live 500 meters from the main street? Could you believe that the people have taken over those spaces? They have taken over it. Now, those households, the landlords have given those 500 meters away from the street. They have given it out to the people. They have put kiosks and containers around that place. They have taken a huge sum of money. While the assembly is there. You know, I approached the assembly recently, trying to convince them if they can give me 20% of any property rate tax that I will collect. They say, oh, you've tried anyway, but you know, you have to pass through finance ministry and those. No, look at this. Look at this. What are we doing to ourselves?
Well, this is what we are doing to ourselves, according to Francis in Spinkters. He says, hello, Nana. The issue, once again, is the appointing authority, which is the president. Until he starts demanding performance from his appointees, we are going nowhere. Is that not frightening? Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, good evening, Nana.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Lukman from Teshi.
Lukman, talk to me.
Thank you very much. Nana, I think it looks as if all we Ghanaians, we are all the same. Because some of us, we criticize, the moment we get opportunity to correct the wrong things, we even do worse. You know, nowadays you look at our essays, those people that seem to know better, now their houses, they are turning them to stores. There are people who build walls, now they are turning the walls into stores. Some are even using funeral houses and occasions. So it looks as if all of us are all the same. Unless we ourselves change ourselves, nobody can change us. For if you are sitting in your home and you are doing wrong things, there's nobody that will come to correct you. So we should we should make our mind that from now on we'll start doing the right thing, and the others will follow. Otherwise, nobody will come and force us to do the right thing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now, I want to see if somebody can help me. Look, with regards to ECG connecting to properties, I mean, like all the motorway structures, which clearly are not supposed to be there, are all connected, to the grid. How does that happen? Is there any way, can we test the law? Go and ask them, look, Joe, this isn't right? Or is it that the council approved that, yes, they are right? Because, for you to go and put the electricity, I'm sure you should have a letter from the council saying that, yeah, they have permit to be here. Can somebody help me out on this one? Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello, Nana.
Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Nana Udika. Udika pa. There is a lot going on that I don't even understand. I think those municipal chief executives and others should be held accountable, very accountable. I'm calling from Koforidua, just at the commercial bank pan, and now when you come there in the morning, in the afternoon, the way the hawkers they're just along the road that even cars can't get place to park. And another annoying thing I've seen in Koforidua right now is that the information centers or something erected by the assemblymen, they just make noise at dawn. They just make noise. And I just say, Ghana, no, because I don't know what is going on in Ghana. I don't know who gave them the permission to erect those information centers that are dawn, some as early as 4, they'll make noise till somewhere 8, and it's so annoying. We need to hold them very accountable.
We need to get these assemblies to wake up. We have to really get the assemblies to wake up. Good evening. Right around North Industrial Area, Otublohum Street, adjacent Royal Motor Showroom, there's this rubber stroke plastic market booming big time on the pavement walkway, but it causes traffic on that stretch. This is from Edem Lachu, North Kaneshi. Who's talking to me on the phone?
Nana Majo.
Me, Josuminia.
Nana, I think, sir, you've just been talking much about what's happening, tropical issues in the country. Yeah, but somehow the other today, Edika. But I must say it's called a spade, not a big spoon. Ghana for your pekasa. Nana, these hawkers, who buys from them?
We do, yeah.
Who buys from them? There also way the drivers who drive on the shoulders, all these illegalities. Look at the motor guys who in the midst of red lights they just drive through. All these illegalities. I don't think they are people from the moon. We do them ourselves. We go to the assemblies and go and influence these guys and go and pay them money to come and do this and do that. Now, why are we on radio talking about this? We should all bow our head in shame and cry for this nation. Nana,
also, but I still think the councils could set up a bit more. I think they have given us, they've shown us the side that, they will cut corners, and therefore, why won't we cut the corners? If they sit up straight, I'm sure we shall all sit up straight, believe you me. But somebody's on the phone. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Who am I talking to?
Ebenezer Mensah, calling from Odoko official account.
Talk to me.
Yeah, Dana, unfortunately, I would say you have a problem. I've been listening to your program all along. You see, the black man is different from the white man. You have lived in the UK. The people in the UK are different from the blacks you see here. But you are equating the blacks and the whites. We are not the same.
But I was black. But I was black when I was in the UK. I wasn't white.
That's what I'm saying. The people there, they conform to rules and regulations, not the blacks in Africa. That's where you have a problem. So you're always complaining and nothing comes out of it because we are black. That's how we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd rather see myself as educating rather than complaining. Educating, I am hoping that the youth, the vibrant youth would, get the guys who are supposed to work to work. Hello. Who am I talking to?
Hi, Nana.
Yeah.
Kofi.
Kofi,
Kofi, me free tema.
Hey, Tema, there you have issues. You have issues. Yeah.
Honestly speaking, I think our problem is this. The whole problem starts with the political structure that we have. Mr. Assemblyman, DC, MC to MP. Omumu niyehi na yetu abama omu, ena omumu niyehi ena ye appointi omu. Niye ni momu na yetu abama omu, na enye omu no mu ye ejuma no. So the general populace is thinking that we are targeting our MP and we are targeting our assemblyman because they are responsible. We don't even know the names of our chief executive. We don't know the MC's name. So we can't hold them accountable.
So, you think it's about time we started voting for them, right?
We should start voting for them, Nana. Then we know them. We know where they are coming from. They tell us what they want to do for us. Then we can hold them to their word. Minimum. But local government money is spending in our core chain. It can open one day. And you told me, MP no to me,
No, so promise here. 0302-216-541. Local assembly should wake up. Who am I talking to?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Who's this, please?
This is Ajman.
Talk to me, Ajman.
And our problem is sometimes you don't dialogue with the people you are going to vote for. You need to be asking them questions. You say I should vote for you. Which position are you all going to occupy? Tell me, you are going to live in the north what are the things you are going to do? And if I'm going to vote for you, I want you to answer some certain questions for me. Because why is it that these things have been going on, and it is whose job? You are bothering the MPs too much because they have a lot to do. Look at the time of sometimes the time they spend at the Parliament House. Then you have assembly member. The place is dirty. Gutters are choked. See, come tonight from Oklemekuku Hotel right down to the Gold Service Station. They have lined up kiosks and containers. Look at the place is village. But they have the whole market. The buildings are there. People should go and hide to do business there. The market is free. You understand? The motorway. People have got access to join the motorway through some various means. And the road to join the motorway is very bad to the extent that you compare someone to retard his or her speed or to slow down, otherwise it will hit. You have policemen standing by. They don't control anything. Then we are here. We are calling for MP. Should the MP leave the Parliament House to come and do this? Ashaman. Recently, there was a truck which failed brake. All that he could do is to scatter people, injured a lot of people. But when the people are doing brick businesses at the shoulders of the road, people are looking at it. Looks as if you don't have the family member or the chief executive around. So it's whose job to do what? That's the problem, Nana.
Thank you very much. But I think the local authorities are really taking us for a ride, honestly. Local authorities are really taking us for a ride because some of the things are just a complete insult. You know, when somebody comes and just dumps some kiosk somewhere, just come and offload yam at the, right the time around about, literally loads of yam, not their big go. So it's not as if, and he's there selling it openly. No, this cannot be right. Hello, who's talking to me?
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Noah.
Who am I talking to?
My name is Eric, and I'm calling from Ajingano.
Let me hear you, Eric.
And sometimes I ask myself a question, and I don't know whether I'm justified to ask myself that question. You see, when you look at God's creation, there are different species of animals, the same as human beings. And so when you go to the forest, or when you go to the bush, even under the sea, you see some fishes are developed than the others. And those who are developed will continue to develop, or they may stay where they are, or they may go forward, whilst others will stay the same. Is it not the same with human beings? Is it not the same with white and black? Because now when you travel outside Africa, and you go to Europe, you go to America and other places where the white people live, the question is, why is it that they are more advanced than us? Is it not the same like we are meant to remain like this, for them also to remain as they are, or there is something that perhaps is missing in we the blacks that makes us remain who we are or where we are? But I'm thinking that it looks as if it is natural. We have to remain as it is. Because you see, there are certain things that a black man does that sometimes you sit down and you catch it and say, why would a human being created in the image of God who do that? Whilst when you go somewhere, other human beings, excuse my language, their wives will not do that. When you go to the UK, you realize that whatever they do is opposite what we do here. So if they are developed, we cannot develop. So I'm thinking that perhaps we are meant to remain as we are. Otherwise, then what is the problem?
A very sad lamentation, which I hope would ginger the youth. That, you can't let such statements, have any semblance of truth in it. The local authorities should work. I'm saying, when, Tema motorway was cleared and was beautiful and streets light and everything, and the place was just so serene, all of a sudden, yam, tipper truck load of yam, watermelon, lotto kiosk, watches, seller, coconut, everybody just start coming. So what were the local assemblies doing? Is it that they were created in the image of animals and therefore they cannot act, as my caller is saying? Come on. I mean, some of the things are not that complicated. We are not saying that don't let any child travel more than a mile to school. Hold on, Debbie and Casa. But come on, a yam supermarket right on the Tamaran about, and it's allowed to flourish. Who's talking to me, please?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Who am I talking to, please?
You're talking to Julia.
Let me hear you.
Yeah. Nana, thanks so much for doing a good work. As an earlier caller said that, what about those of us who drive in the street and we buy from the hawkers and all that? Look, the fact of the matter is that it isn't that Europe, all those things cannot be done. But because the law enforcement agencies do work, they will not allow those people to be there. So if I'm here, people are put into positions to work, and they deny those people from working. I don't think those drivers will buy from ghosts, excuse my language, that they just get to that place and then they will be calling others from nowhere to come and they buy from them. So it's all about the enforcement. So as other callers said, it's right that you go to the assemblies, they are just there, they are not doing anything, and their problem, I understand, because the politicians who put some of them there, sometimes as an assemblyman, you may go and do something, but when the minister or the DC come around, trust me, it will not go down well with you. He may end up inciting people against you. You are making the party unpopular. So always it's about vote, vote, vote. So the question is, when? When, Nana? When?
When is a big question. 0302216541. Hello, who's talking to me?
Yeah, this is John from Dansuman.
John,
how are you?
I'm good, John. Let me hear you.
Yeah, the DCs usually are appointed by their political parties or whoever is in power, and they are there to serve their parties. They are not there to serve you. So if they realize that things are being done haphazardly and it is their party member, they're not going to take any action. But if it is the opponents, then they will take action. Because how come that people who have kiosks all over the places, pavements, people are supposed to pass, people have kiosks there. As you come to some areas, people are selling on the road. The main road, people put things there to sell, which is absurd, to say the least. Now, to your question about ECG, how come that they give lights to those areas? Come on, we live in Ghana. It's all about bribery. If you develop a property, all that you have to do is to go and see whoever is at ECG. All that they do is to ask some money. They'll tell you it is not possible, it can't be done. They don't have the poles, so you have to buy it at exorbitant prices. And once you are able to pay, they connect you the electricity. Nobody asks any questions. And it also boils down to the politics, where the board members of ECG are appointed by the political party in power instead of technocrats being there to guide policy. So there's no policy laid down to say that don't connect to these areas. They don't even know. It's supposed to be right now. They can't even tell you which areas are earthquake prone, which areas are not supposed to be connected. They don't have that policy. All you have to do is to just bribe them. That's all. And
thank you very much, my brother. Thank you. What I'm saying, thank you. I want to say thank you to Nana Bubie Ansa II, Bonre Hine, Nananya Konfrimpoma II, Bonre Hima, and Edreso Hima, Nanaya Santua. Why am I saying thank you? Well, last Saturday, the state of Dumasa moved to Bonre, and we went with our First Lady. Why? Because we got an invitation from Bonre that since the marriage of Awodansua, every kente that she has worn, the one she wore for her marriage and the one we wore for the outdooring of Little Princess, has become the bestseller. And therefore, congratulations and honor for her contribution to the kente fraternity. She was honored with a kente that has just been created called Nkabumuma Ahonding. Nkabumuma Ahonding. First ever one that was made. So we went there and we accepted the honor with pleasure. And so we want to say thank you to all the people of Bonre, Master Weaver Kofi Wusu, who is our Kente agent. But it was a beautiful celebration, it was a beautiful occasion, and my head was bursting with pride as we sat down with my chiefs around me and my First Lady next to me, receiving this kente in honor of her contribution, and I was bursting with pride. So once again, I would say thank you so much for bringing honor to myself and my little republic. to all those who came with us. Wedding Empire, Sana Hine, Maria Hine, Jase, Casiteria, all those who came with us. The GDA crew, the Standpoint crew, say Ayiko and thank you very much. So to my wife, I say continue getting the honors. I will take you. One from Menchia and then the White House. And I'll still take you there. But folks, that was my opinion today, that local councils should wake up. Enough is enough. We are sick and tired of being sick and tired. In Kabomoma Mpuntuo, that's the name of the club. In Kabomoma Mpuntuo. Stay tuned for the news bulletin and I'll be back on Monday.